Get a chance now to visit with Coach Herm Edwards. And Herm, we've been hearing, and your staff has been repeating this about the vibe, how the character and the togetherness of this team. So here's your moment. Tell us about it.
Well, it's every team presents its own chemistry, and this team has a uniqueness of doing that, and it's interesting when you watch it evolve. And the teams that we've been involved in the last 4 years, this team has kind of come together in a way that in the last 4 seasons I have not seen. Not saying the other teams didn't have great chemistry, because to win you have to have chemistry, but there's something about this football team that's a little different.
You've lost some captains on both sides of the ball. This spring it seems like it's Ladarius Henderson or Clark. Like, who has elevated to become leaders over the last 14 practices? Well,
Sole is one. He's a veteran guy. He's been here in the program since I arrived, and he is kind of one of the leadership's spots on defense, along with Merlin. Merlin's been here, been a starter for quite some time. So those are the guys on defense for the most part. And you mentioned Ladarius. Ben Scott has been here. So we've got some guys that have been in the room, maybe not the unique positions that you would say the leadership is supposed to come from, but I think leadership within your team with guys that have been in the system, that are part of the culture, can pay big dividends for you, and it's done that all spring.
8 guys go to the NFL Combine. Your entire back end is pretty much gone. You're a secondary guy at heart. Donnie, you look at your DC, you look at Marvin Lewis. Everybody's got DB elements to them in their coaching pedigree. How has this group evolved? Like, who is it going to be to step up and elevate?
Well, very competitive group. We brought in 2 new safeties, obviously, to go along with the safeties that have been here. So we've got a very competitive group, and we're going to have a couple more transfers come in at the corner position. So it's one with a lot of talent. Not a guy that I can say that's played the entire season as a starter, but guys that had to play a lot of football for us. And that's what we've always done here. We've always had a rotation on defense. And some guys that have played for us had to play in the bowl game, by the way, because some of those guys elected not to play. 5 defensive starters elected not to play in the bowl game. So a lot of guys had to go in and play, which was good. So we've got some experience, some playing experience, and we have some depth. So it's going to be kind of fun to watch this thing evolve.
Well, Herm, one feature of your spring obviously has been competition at the quarterback position. Give us your view of it, Harris, as spring ends.
It's been very competitive, to say the least, and I think that's a good thing. We're not going to announce a starter, obviously, until we get closer to camp. But I've seen some strides at the position, and I think when you have a group that's very competitive, you always find a way to get better. So it's one of those deals where they're new offense for the most part. They're trying to learn that. You won't see a lot of it tonight. I'll warn our fans right away. We're going to be pretty plain, to be quite honest, and there's reasons for that. When you're on television, if you're anyone in our conference, you're probably going to tape this game and try to figure out what we're doing on offense and defense. So the simpler we can keep it, the more you have to wonder.
All right, and Coach, finally, 21st Century Football, this is your last spring event, but there's 3 more weeks to run the transfer portal, right, to have players that can play for you in the fall.
It's always available. It's called free agency in college football, and we're well aware of that. I think every college coach in the country is well aware of that. And there's still 3 more weeks. And I've always said this, our team is not set at this point in time. And I'll leave it at that.
Yogi, how about that diplomacy? Isn't that good?
Hey,
you can tell he's a veteran.
I've done this a lot in my career. I can remember saying that in pro football too, right?
Both sides, Coach. Yeah. Coach Herm Edwards, thanks very much for joining us. Thanks for being a great host for us for the Spring Showcase.
Thank you guys for double dutying today. You guys were tremendous. I'll make sure you guys get a raise.